Hi, my name is Francis. I'm a data proxy. I'm here to help you producing high quality data. And in this first installment, I'll tell you how to legally create more data. And I share my experiences with data black markets and introduce a great device for data production. So stay with me. And for some reason it's legal. I'm a data proxy. That is a consultant to help you manage your data production. I support you when you run low on data or when you have to deal with the data authorities. I've seen many people struggling with their data production because, well, simply, we are all lazy. There might be days when we overproduce and others when data production is below quota. Often, you do not keep track of your data, and wham, data authority warning notice. Coffee. I just need it. Since the introduction of the mandatory data production by law 7 years ago, I have helped people to cope with managing their data needs. And then I realized, well, creating data for others could actually be a job. There is no formal education as a data proxy yet, so I want to share my experiences and also hear and learn from you in the comments. I think of myself as a consultant who helps you to produce more data. I'm not a data lawyer, although of course I know the law. I'm a practitioner, someone who is able to produce data and to help you producing more data. While the tax consultant helps you to save taxes, I don't help you to save data, I help you to produce more. And I'm making these videos in order to let the world know about the best data practices. And a friend of mine, thank you Gabriel, he convinced me to share my life with you, so you'll be intrigued by my services. So, what's the most personal thing I could possibly tell you at this point? I mean, we have to build some trust here, right? Well, maybe about my education? Let's say I have studied and not finished media technology at university. And then I worked as a programmer, which was fun, well, until a certain point, I would say. I decided to move on. Honestly, it wasn't a straightforward process. I did idle and procrastinate a lot until my new vocation as a data proxy emerged. And then I saw this fantastic TED talk on how not to procrastinate, and I began to change my habit. And I linked that talk below. Now I have learned from this time and I evolve more and more organized and I'm getting more and more focused. And it led to my specialization as data proxy. To me, the data proxy is really an artist. I'm working as a sculptor. I'm forming and shaping data towards an expected outcome. I think I ruined a lot of people's data, at least, at the beginning. Not that they were unhappy at that time, they were happy. But when I revisited some of the data some time later, maybe for reusing it for certain tactics in another project, I would just cringe and be embarrassed. I began to compare my intentionally produced data against organically grown data, let's say in the simple case of a step counter. And that organic data, the difference is mental, it's more organic, it has more variance and dynamics, it has more everything. I'm an expert for data and I'm able to beat the data authorities in their game. And in the end, you want to have the right data and I'll consult you to produce it. I'm just coming out of a client meeting. They must be really desperate and were even suggesting to buy amounts of data from the black market. And I strongly advised against it. You know, people are constantly looking for shortcuts. And well, I'm not against shortcuts when it helps, but it needs to be the right shortcut. The thing with data black markets is first to understand why they exist. The data law was introduced in the frame of the European Data Initiative, and it was clear that some people, that is me and you, well, basically everybody would begin to just simply copy data. Copying data to fulfill your data quota is now forbidden by law. Maybe you are able to slip through some copied data. Lucky you! I wouldn't try this at home. Well, now, people tend to be lazy. You're lazy. You're lazy. Demand created supply, which was the birth of the data black markets. Sadly, data black markets provide too many illegal copies. So if you're not specialized in data, you never know whether you get legitimate original data or low quality rubbish. And with rubbish, I mean data which the data authorities will identify as duplicate. You don't want that. Access is another problem. These data black markets are non-obvious. You can't just Google them. They're hidden. Now you need the Onion browser to access the deep web. When you load the website, it looks like an early 2000 online bulletin board. Really old-fashioned, with dysfunctional search, etc., all cluttered and confusing. Somewhere between passports, trucks, weapons, prostitutes and organ parts, there might be a data section. Can you trust the seller? Who knows? The next obstacle is personal referrals. So to buy data, you need not just coin, you also need personal referrals. So the seller knows he or she can trust you. And you have to build trust. And that takes time. I checked out the data black market occasionally, so getting your hands on valid data is difficult. And it's a waste of time, even if you're desperate. The logger swing. I love it. I know it will work for you. It's affordable, and for some reason, yeah, it still works. You don't believe it? Well, the logger swing is legal. Wasn't it originally invented for gamers to simulate steps in Pokemon Go, I think? Yeah. And well, since then it has been explored for some off-label use. The most common thing to use it with is health insurance. Health insurance providers who track your movement as part of a healthy lifestyle, and you provide them with the steps. Okay, that's easy and affordable. And for some reason it's legal. You find a link in the description below again. And I have, however, personally, I have manipulated my swings so that they do some run and shakes every here and now and then to make them appear more human. Have you heard of those folks who attach their loggers to their dogs? Some people also constructing wild devices involving wheels and such and putting a logger on it. Honestly, the logger swing, it's an underrated classic for data production. It's cheap and it's reliable. And the most important thing though is check that your logger and your data vault is set up to broadcast your data production ID. The data that you create needs to be counted and identified as yours. If you don't ID it, everybody else will claim it.